Hello!
Hey, everybody.
Well, let me just start by saying that we really, really love you guys. We had a very long day yesterday. For me, it was about a 22-hour work day.
Mine was about 15.
Well, I was up the night before writing, and then I didn't really have to work too much on set, but I was awake, so it would have been, I don't know, 30-something hours.
I'm gonna give you 15 with Emma.
He did write.
He wrote a phenomenal script, though. But yes, we are recovering from an all-day shoot day from a 48-hour film festival, at least what we turned into a 48-hour film festival.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 10 days,
Yeah.
and we're masochists.
Let's just get it done.
We're masochists.
I want more time to edit.
So we did it in 48 hours. Basically.
Anyways, we're gonna get that to you guys very soon. Hopefully, it might even be out by the time this records.
I imagine it will be out before.
Yeah,
this
probably
goes out before you see this.
So, no, that's not gonna work.
It's called Fancy Feast. So if you guys have seen Fancy Feast, then
that's what we're tired from.
Yep.
I hope it was good.
Yep. Maybe we'll do a reaction video to our first time doing Fancy Feast.
It doesn't exist yet, but we're talking about it, and you've watched it.
That's so weird. But maybe we should talk about the film we did just see.
For clarification, this film is not on any of our top 25s.
No, but I have gotten so much shit for having not watched The Princess Bride that I finally decided to just say, screw it, let's watch it so that we can have further proof that I have seen Princess Bride and no one will doubt me.
I have also, I had not seen it prior to this with reason. I have purposely not seen it before today because I had, what's the word? I don't know. I didn't think I'd like it.
When I was in high school, they took the entire class, junior class, and put us in the auditorium and showed us Princess Bride.
Oh God, that sounds horrible.
I had seen it before.
I had an aversion to it. That's what I was looking for. I had a very, very random kind of, reasonless aversion to Princess Bride.
I will say, though, of that high school thing, they did that a couple times to us. The other two movies we watched were Casablanca and The Prestige, which both are on my top 25 currently.
But Princess Bride is not.
Princess Bride did not make it. Oh, and Life is Beautiful, which is a good movie, although that didn't quite make my list.
Princess Bride didn't make your top 25?
No.
Shocked.
As you can see, you're going to get a variety of reactions to this movie.
I trust my gut, and my gut has yet to fail me.
So, well, there you go.
I don't know, though.
I will say right off the bat, I will probably say the most positive things about this movie. They aren't going to all be positive, I'll warn you guys now. Or you know what? It'll be a perfect A+ review in case that is making any of you guys click out right now.
The things that I will be positive on, I will be very solid on, but get ready for some shit.
So if you love this movie and don't want to see any critique on it, well, I mean,
leave the video on, but leave the room.
Yeah, that's honestly a problem. If you can't let critics say their thing about your favorite movies, then and still be prepared to defend it, then...
I don't know if I can even critique this. I'm going to come at it from both ways, like from like an actual, I don't know, logical standpoint, and just my personal opinion, because I can understand.
Oh, I understand
this movie. Is it considered like a cult movie? It has a cult following?
I'd say it's just a classic.
Yeah,
is it just a
tend
classic?
to really like it.
Because the reactions that I've gotten to not having seen The Princess Bride are very similar to reactions I get from people who... or similar reactions that I give to people who have not seen something like Rocky Horror or Clockwork Orange. It's like, has this weird, unexplainable following, and...
No, I'd say this is just a classic.
It's just a classic. Why?
Because it's very rooted in its genre. I mean, it sets the standard for what is
fantasy
like,
quest
but like children's fantasy. So like it's the best example of like, because you have fantasy like Lord of the Rings, it's a little more adult, and the offshoots of the adult type Lord of the Rings, so a Game of Thrones. But in terms of like a children's fairy tale fantasy story, this is the standard.
But I know, I didn't know anybody when I was younger who knew this movie, and the only people that I know who have raved about it are adults.
Because they watched
Because
it
they
when
watched
they
it
were
when
kids.
they were younger.
Right.
Yeah, is
But
my
then-
assumption. I don't know.
Is it a classic,
It's my best friend's
though?
favorite movie.
But
so.
do any children these days have any idea what The Princess Bride is?
Yeah,
It's still
yeah.
a children's classic.
I'm
Well,
sure
it's-
their parents are showing it to them.
Really?
And it's very big in pop culture, and there's references everywhere in it.
Yeah, that I did see, and
There's some references I didn't even
I
realize.
appreciate The
The Princess
Princess Bride for its contributions to meme culture.
Yeah, that's true. One of the latest
Yeah.
memes, you fool, you fell for a classic blunder. So
You fell
any
prey to a
meme
classic
historians
blunder.
that are out there, this is the time period we're working on
And
right
I'm
now.
not a major
That's,
meme person, but
You
I
fell
That's
victim,
the popular-
victim to a classic
recognize.
That's the popular meme at the time of this recording. So there's some history for
I
you.
feel like that's been around for a little while.
It's really
I
made
know.
a
The one
comeback
that's-
lately.
The one that's been around for a while that the first one that I noticed was that.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And I
Um,
have used that, so thanks, Mandy Patinkin. That is my favorite part of this movie, is him.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that, at least
Yeah.
on my list. But
So if you want to
Um,
hear me talk wonderfully about Mandy Patinkin, stick around.
you were saying that it's very rooted in its genre.
Yeah.
And that's the first note I had, because this is how I'm going to start describing romance from now on. Is this a kissing movie? Oh no, this is a kissing book? That's... From now on, anytime I want to show
Whip
someone a
my notes
comedy,
out.
I'll say, it's a kissing comedy. It's a rom kiss.
It's
My notes are so mean.
That's okay.
I'll take notes.
Yeah, you're okay.
But
I'm
no,
just gonna
I-
respond to all your notes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's usually how it's been going
Yeah,
anyways.
I agreed with the kid at first when he said, "What is this? When does it get good?" The answer is
I knew
about,
that was going to be a note.
The answer is little. Does the kid have a name? Do we know the name of the child?
I think that I do, and
I don't know.
have...
Sixth child. The movie gets good
Well,
about 80% of the way through.
You know who he really is, like with the
No,
actor's
I
name.
actually don't.
It's,
Yeah, you do.
Fred
It's
Savage.
Fred Savage. Yeah.
Oh.
Young Fred Savage.
Yeah.
Aw.
So if you just watch the new Christmas cut of Deadpool 2,
Yeah.
that's
I just-
also heavily rooted in references to this film.
Yeah. That's okay to me, but hope you're okay.
We're real people, internet. You know,
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think anyone's
very
doubting
relatable.
Yeah, the movie takes
We're not
takes
a
a
whole lot
little
to look
while
up
to get going for me.
Yeah, I would say
I-
it's around the time Mandy Patinkin shows up on screen.
I don't know. I'd say it's around the time that I didn't enjoy it until about 75-80% of the way through.
Well, we're talking... if
But
we're
then you
gonna-
started to feel enjoyable.
Yeah, then I started to do it.
We're
It's
talking
okay.
about Mandy Patinkin's character a lot, so I guess this is a good time to bring up one of my
Let's
notes.
talk about him.
Indigo
I-
Montoya, if you guys
Inigo
don't know who
Montoya,
Mandy
yes.
Patinkin is.
Which everyone, I honestly think, should know the character Inigo Montoya.
Right,
Like,
yeah, but they
there's
might
not seeing The
but not
Princess
everybody
Bride and then
knows-
not hearing any references
Not
to Princess
everybody
Bride.
knows who Mandy Patinkin is.
See,
Right.
Mandy Patinkin for me, it holds a special place in my heart because my favorite TV show,
Yeah.
Dead Like Me.
That's when I first saw him too.
Yeah,
He's
that's
great
when
in
I
that
got
show.
to know him.
Yeah.
And he,
Was
Yeah,
he
me
in
too. That's
Spy
where I got to know him
Kids?
too.
I thought he was in Spy Kids, too.
Was
I
he
don't
in
think
that?
so.
I think you're
Maybe.
right. I
Who's
don't
the bad
know.
guy in the second one?
I don't know.
Because in the first one, the bad guy's
Steve, no.
Alan.
Yeah, I'm not...
Cummings?
I don't
Is
remember.
it
I
Steve
thought he-
Buscemi the bad guy?
Yeah, that's who it is.
Oh, yeah. Do you think that God stays in heaven because he...
He
is-
was in fear of what he has created. Spy Kids getting deep.
Spy Kids. We gotta watch Spy Kids eventually.
Spy
Fuck
Kids.
yeah, we do.
That was my first real 3D movie, Spy Kids 3D. But yeah, back
Wait,
onto
which
Mandy
one?
Patinkin.
Alright, we'll talk about that later.
But yeah, Mandy Patinkin
I
really was the redeeming quality of this movie.
Yeah.
for
But
me.
that's the thing. Having never seen this movie, I really thought his character was going to be in this movie a lot more than he
true.
was.
That's how I felt. I was very scared that the
He was not in this movie nearly as much as I thought he would
no.
be.
no that
That's fine.
which one was that?
That one.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
Goodbye there, Kim.
I was very, very very terrified that I was going to have to hear the word inconceivable more than how many times I heard it. I didn't even want to hear it more than 3 times, and when he died, I'm not kidding, the wave of relief that came over my body
I didn't think he was dead.
Almost orgasmic.
I was kind of surprised that he actually died. He didn't kill the other 2, so I thought I was going to be like, oh yeah, it just knocks you out. But he actually killed that one.
No, I mean, rule of 3.
Thank God.
Writers of,
I love that actor in some things, but
Angry
Jesus
Incredibles manager.
Christ, that was an annoying character.
Yeah. They did.
And Rex from Toy Story.
I bet he peaked on the sound every other take.
Yeah.
Oh God, that man was yelling a lot, and my head hurt. I didn't enjoy his character.
I thought he was kind of funny. But that's probably the best I can say about him. He was kind of funny.
No, and I didn't even particularly like, they wanted to build him up as kind of that, like, fast-talking but intelligent, or, like, sometimes falsely intelligent. I just don't think they hit the mix right. Like, it just didn't land for me.
He was a horrible character.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what they were going
nothing
for.
But annoying.
But I don't think they hit it. Maybe it was just because it was rushed. Maybe in the book it's better. I think it's a book.
It is a book, and the person that wrote the book wrote the screenplay for the movie.
Yeah, I don't think they landed what they wanted out of that character. I don't think they got what they needed.
No.
Yeah.
I was very happy when he
I can understand. There's a mix there, and they didn't hit the mix right in terms of, like, annoying but funny. He was just annoying.
Now, he kicked off the one word I have for 3/4 of this movie, which is cringy. It's very cringy to me. Like, the note I have that I tried to explain it by is,
I guess I've seen way cringier stuff, because the movie didn't full-on hit cringe to me.
No.
I wrote, I feel like I'm watching a movie written by the people at conventions who don't wear deodorant. That's all I felt about most of this movie.
Okay, good.
But you have to assume that's probably who
watches the movie.
No, I would say wrote it, and that it's like hit.
Well, I don't want to insult my best friend.
I'm really being an asshole. I'm a convention goer myself, but that's how I felt.
But like, I mean, in the whatever, let's say 80s or so, when this movie was written, that's the fantasy genre was very much
1987.
87, right? So that's who, that's where these conventions started, was like, that was the fantasy genre.
Fantasy wasn't pop culture.
Yeah, it was those kind of guys at convention. But now that fantasy has become more pop culture, I think you're starting to see this movie kind of hit a resurgence. And the reason that fantasy has become pop culture, much more mainstream, is because movies like this come out in the 80s and kids watch it, even though it's written by a guy like that, and then grow up and like it and feel okay with it,
and start creating things like that as well.
And then but an evolved version. So the
this is like the child.
Yeah, it's the first building blocks to like what eventually gets us good fantasy, like a Game of Thrones seasons 1 through 7.
Definitely respect it for being that, but I don't ever want to watch it again.
Yeah, no, I don't want.
I could probably watch it again.
I don't know. See,
I would manage.
It reminded me, and I've been saying this.
I'm conflicted because I did really enjoy the final parts of this movie.
Yeah. No, it's fine to say
it reminds me of Friends, right? You go, okay, I don't.
Hold on.
I don't particularly like Friends.
Of course
I'm mostly bored during Friends.
Of course you are.
But without Friends, we don't get better shows like The Office and stuff. It takes the Friends to exist before we get the.
I'll agree with you that The Office is good.
Yes. Friends is it's a little goofy.
Of course it's a little goofy. It's a 90s sitcom.
I don't want to be
but
comparing
this isn't
Friends
about
to The Princess Bride because I love Friends.
I do. I feel it's a very apt comparison.
Whatever. I'll put Friends on in the background any day of the week, so. This isn't a big note, but I just want to cross it off.
This is the most notes I've ever taken for a movie that we've watched.
That's a bad sign for people that love this movie.
And I was hoping to get a nap today.
I have nothing else to say other than the "Murdered by Pirates is good" line was fun from the kid.
I do have a couple lines that I wrote down. Yeah, Murdered by Pirates was good.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere.
I mean, there's a lot of good lines.
It's a quotable movie.
Yeah.
Yes, we admit it. It's a very quotable movie.
Yeah.
Please consider me as an alternative to suicide.
But that's the thing. That's when everyone.
I didn't even think about that, but that is funny. That is
when
funny.
Everyone has gotten on to me about never seeing this movie. That's the first thing they always jump to is it's a very quotable movie. Like, that's the biggest defense that they seem to have for this movie.
But that's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
One of my favorite movies that we'll eventually watch is Troy, and that's a very quotable movie.
Okay.
Maybe more quotable than Princess Bride, but it doesn't have... It's very quotable and has great fight choreography, and this was quotable and had pretty good fight choreography.
The fight between Inigo Montoya and Wesley was great.
Good,
I loved that.
Good
Nice tits, Wesley.
No, I did not
That's
know
paraphrased, I suppose.
Yeah, that is a paraphrase from what he actually
She's
says.
about to stab herself.
Yeah.
I don't remember the
And he
exact
says something
word.
about how, you know,
Makes you find a breast.
you have, some of the finest breasts I've ever seen to be ashamed
It would
to
be a
waste
shame.
There's a rare quantity of perfect breasts in the world, and it would be a shame to ruin
one.
yours.
Yeah, which is just like,
What a line.
nice tits. And then she's like, Wesley.
Oh, can we talk about Buttercup?
Yes,
How
we
stupid
can.
the name Buttercup is.
Who do you want to
What
start?
the fuck
You'll start.
kind of name is Buttercup for literally like the only female character in this movie, who, by the way, is the most fucking pointless person in this entire film.
I'd like to say something.
Go ahead.
This movie does not do a lot for female empowerment.
No.
Here's what I'm going to
Which
say.
is okay. I mean,
Just before
Okay.
Emma finishes the rant, which I do agree with. I agree with everything you're about to say. But Tristan, make sure you clip this out.
I'm
so
not
that
going
when
to.
we start watching The Shining, you can just play when we're talking about female characters, which is on Emma's top 25 list.
it's on my top 25. It's not about Shelley
Yeah.
Duvall. Okay, it's
We'll
not
just
about
overcut
her.
when I'm like, so I'll start saying, and anyway, the Shelley Duvall character, and then you just put in the audio of Emma complaining about Buttercup, and it'll be all right there. I won't have to even talk.
I don't actually disagree with you.
All right,
though.
that's good.
I like the movie for the visually. I like
Yeah,
that movie,
yeah.
and I have top 20. The top 25 is just a range of reasons.
yeah.
that I like
Variety.
them. Yeah.
Absolute variety.
I do agree with
But
Buttercup. And like,
This-
in some ways though, doesn't that make Buttercup the perfect name?
Wesley,
If you are going to
You know what?
write that terrible of
Yeah.
a character, why not
You're
just
right.
call her Buttercup?
but she is the driving force behind every action in this movie, almost except for Inigo. What is his name?
Montoya.
Inigo Montoya. You killed my father.
Prepare to
To
die.
die. That.
I am
Who
always...
doesn't know that
good,
line?
so
It's,
good.
it's so quoted now that I'm annoyed by the line, which is too bad because when I first saw this movie and it wasn't as quoted, I really was like,
Pretty
this is a pretty cool
Pretty
thing to
badass
do.
line.
And now like I hear people like quote it all the time, like weird kids in your high school
Yeah.
quote it all
Stop
the time.
saying that.
And
I
you're
do
like-
think Wesley deserved much better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she was the only girl in the world.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So-
Well, and the very,
Except
very
for
old women.
my girl, the booing woman at the wedding, which happened to be a dream. Honestly, in this movie, the most tragic death to me was her, even though it wasn't technically
Yeah.
a death. The fact that she didn't even exist and I didn't get to see more of her booing at Princess Buttercup,
Yeah.
I was sad.
Well, she would have been executed.
Well,
I would have liked a lot more
Executions,
of
yeah.
the Billy Crystal character.
Oh.
He was fun, although
what did you say?
I
though?
said, is this a little anti-Semitic? Because it was heavily rooted in stereotypes. I mean, it was like, you know, just a minstrel show. But I think Billy Crystal is Jewish, so it's probably fine. I don't know.
Yeah, anytime Buttercup was on screen speaking or doing anything, actually, she did nothing, so, I mean,
Yeah.
when Wesley was getting attacked
By the giant rat
by
thing.
the giant rat thing,
The possum rat
do
sex result.
something.
They didn't even, like, cut to her either.
That was sexual.
Yeah.
That was very sexual.
Yeah, I mean, you were surrounded by rocks and heavy sticks. You can use that
Well,
to fight
she even
him.
picked up the stick and then,
Yes,
like a
but
full log
that's
and,
fine.
like, poked it for a minute.
That's the thing. She
was
didn't
weird.
go right to hitting. She's
Yeah.
like, stab.
Yeah. I thought, surely she is going to be the one to get him out of the situation, but he gets himself out of it.
He does.
Which is
What?
crazy.
It's like I can't even word my
that's fine.
my distaste for this woman.
Down to one angle. Why did we even set up the other cameras?
We are, for the, as we do during everyone. I'm sorry if I'm not articulated and my thoughts are, like, trailing off. I'm very tired. We killed
really-
it yesterday, though.
We really.
So.
But I don't think that has anything to do with their dislike of the film. Just that they're tired. Because I've seen it, well, I don't know. Was I ever really awake in high school? I don't know. Maybe I've just been the same amount of tired.
Are
every
you
time
ever
I've watched-
really awake now?
No. I mean, yes. When I sleep till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, then I'm super awake.
It's almost 3 now, so.
But I haven't been sleeping, Tristan. I've been working for you.
Yeah, okay, if you want to phrase it like that.
For all of us. For you guys, really.
I finally know who Humperdinck is.
I really liked his
What?
character.
In a List 25 video, this is how I got into this shit in the first place.
Okay.
It was 25, like, most sinister childhood villains, and Humperdinck was on there, and I'm like, who is Humperdinck? That sounds like someone I want to be friends with. Humperdinck is a great name. Don't.
Okay.
You have nothing to say about names. Anyways.
How's the grapes thing? Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
When it comes to names, Humperdinck, I think, is pretty damn
Is
great.
better than...
I don't know. I definitely enjoyed his character. I liked his red-orange ensemble. It was terrible in a wonderful way.
I had forgotten that he was the one who had initially kidnapped Buttercup. And so, for a little while in the movie, I was like, I don't even get why he's so bad. I was like, he seems like a pretty genuine guy. And then, of course, I mean, he starts, like, torturing people and stuff.
And wanting to kill his
But when
soon-to-be wife.
When she first is like, she thinks Wesley's dead, and then she's with Humperdinck, and he talks about, like, I'll wait, and maybe you'll really fall for me. And he's talking about, like, lifting her up from, you know, the common people, and then she gets kidnapped, and at one point I'm like, I don't know, man. He seems okay.
Seems like
he
an
hadn't really
honorable
done
dude.
anything, and even, you know, like...
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out like what I want to say because it's like he doesn't really do anything bad to Buttercup specifically until she starts really running from him, which is still a very bad thing to do. But then you go like, okay, what if he had just like found a girl who also liked him? He may have just been like a really cool dude. He just like was an asshole because he had an opportunity to be. I don't know. I don't want to seem like I'm defending Humperdinck. Like, oh, this, you know. If she would have just dated him, he wouldn't have been a bad guy, because that makes him a bad guy. I don't want to say that. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
But
Why can they never just, like, do the plot where they have to make the other guy that they're supposed to marry? Why can't it just ever be, hey, they have a talk, we're not right for each other, maybe you're better off with this guy, he can be sad and whatnot, but no, they always have to go with the twist is he's evil anyways, so you don't have to worry about rooting for him.
Yeah, I feel like Lord Farquaad was based on this character.
yeah, I mean,
And then there's...
Shrek would be what I would consider an evolution of this movie. So you have the Princess Bride. In order for the Princess Bride to exist, Shrek has to almost parody the Princess Bride, but Shrek is the better movie.
Shrek is
a strictly good movie, and this is
Shrek
a
is
medium
love.
movie. I don't.
And Shrek 2 is arguably better.
I'm sorry.
I've heard I told you one of the top 25 lists I got from a friend of mine had Shrek 4 on it.
I think you
which I've not
mentioned it in
seen.
2 other podcasts.
And a live stream.
His name is Seth, and he's a good friend of mine. Look him up.
2
Shout
podcasts
out
and a
Seth
movie.
if you're seeing this. No, sorry, that wasn't Seth's list. It was Zach.
Get your friends
Zach
right, Alex.
Humphrey's list. Shout out Zach
Get
Humphrey
your friends
and
right.
Seth.
I'm Tristan, this is Emma.
Yep.
Let's see. Where are we gonna go here? Okay, can we go consequentially, like, not consequentially, sequentially? What's the word I'm, like, thinking of?
Sequentially is right.
Sequentially,
Like, as he wrote things down?
No,
Yeah.
through
Yeah,
the movie.
Through the
Fine, that's-
movie.
Well, can we talk about something good about this movie?
I don't know.
Okay.
I say push
That's
your
what
hair
it
out
was.
of your fucking face, Wesley.
Well,
His first few shots,
we-
his hair is so
we
in his
can't
face, I
talk
can
about-
hardly see his eyes. No wonder she didn't recognize him with the fucking mask, because his hair was always in his eyes.
Look, here's the thing, and maybe it works better in a book form, but if you're going to try to sell to me that it is the greatest love this woman has ever felt, then he shows up wearing a mask. He doesn't even really change his voice, just a mask. And she's like, who is this man? Like, you didn't love him. You don't love this guy. You can't recognize your true love's voice because he has a mask and a mustache? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, God.
And he has a pretty distinct voice, too.
Like, you know,
It is-
yeah.
it is
does.
unique.
Yeah.
But
And she's talking about his ocean eyes, and he's staring at her.
Yeah.
With his ocean eyes.
Visual, like, you could see his eyes. She's like, he had these beautiful eyes that were like a storm.
Strike 10 for Buttercup.
That's all you can see right now. It's his
all
eyes.
And she's like, you're like, kind of
And
like
then
yours.
right after that, probably like you said, a great addition to the cinematic universe is that scene falling down the hill.
Yeah, which is very
As
funny.
you wish. Oh my god. It's my sex
Wait.
partner.
Yeah, it took like a callback joke
What he is.
for her to figure it out. Yeah. Like, not his eyes or his actions. It's like a joke callback. And she's like, oh shit, it's Wesley. That was a little ridiculous. I mean, it is a fun payoff
Yeah.
for that to be what she notices, but he needed a better disguise.
God.
Or, like, why even bother disguising yourself? Like, why just be like, I'm gonna disguise myself so I can yell at this girl?
Yeah.
I'm going to, like, kill at least one person, possibly 3, just so I can tell my ex, fuck you, for moving on. It's a kind of crazy thing to do, Wesley.
Revenge. It's a story. It's a story of revenge,
And then
sexual
she's like,
awakening.
yeah, and then she's like, oh wait, I will sleep with you. And he's like, I guess I'm not that mad. Shady motivations.
Yeah, that
all
scene
around.
was that scene was interesting. There's another scene that it's interesting. The one where they're climbing the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
How I want to know exactly how long that scene is, because it's like one of those joke videos that you see on Facebook or something that you click, and it's this climactic video that never actually ends. And like,
Okay,
finishes.
yeah, so I definitely recognize that.
It was just non-stop pan to them both climbing up the cliff.
Well, the conversation was mostly the same about going faster and how fast is he going. It was like they were talking about speed of climbing for like 20 minutes. Like,
I have to appreciate this movie for what it is, but like through my eyes, it's totally like a B movie that I just have to watch and laugh at. Is that why you love it? Is that why? I don't understand.
It's not the perfect segue into this, but I want to talk about the fact that I think that the costumes and the sets were actually pretty great.
Oh, that's like, I have a couple comments about the costuming.
Yeah.
Costuming was actually really
I want to get back
good.
to that, like, fantasy costuming has, like, left that realm of, like, and gone very much into, like, a more, like, grittier kind of costuming and set design and stuff, and I think it's time we return to, like, 80s D&D style fantasy visuals, not like the kind of new Game of Thronesy ones that we have. I want to get back to like our roots of like B movie fantasy.
Yep,
where people are wearing like, I don't know, velour vests and crowns all look the same.
I love it. It was
torches on walls.
Very Princess Leia-esque, her whole entire red ensemble.
Yeah.
You know, I really, really, really dug that. Yet there
rapiers,
were. I mean,
rapiers.
we can talk about the positive sides of the costume. The one negative I have to say about the costuming is later in the movie I noticed that everybody pretty much is wearing the same thing, and the only person who ever really changes is Princess Buttercup.
Yeah.
But they don't even like give her different costumes every other day that she changes. While nobody else seems to be able to change into different clothing. But they go back and forth between the same ones, too. And I'm just like, what is the point of that? Like, if you're going to keep everybody in the same costumes, do it. Keep everybody in the same costumes. If you're going to have one person change their dresses, then have them continuously change. Just don't go back to the one you had 2 scenes ago, because it just kind of muddles the timeline for me.
Yeah, it just seems like they want to change clothes because they're like, lady, changes clothes.
Like, I think she wore the same thing when she was introduced as the queen as she did as the princess, which is...
Yeah, weird.
Why would you do that? And then on her wedding day, when she woke up, she was wearing the blue dress that we first saw her in the castle, and I don't know. That was weird, but they're so beautiful. So.
No,
there's a light at the end of the tunnel there.
I thought the cinematography was good.
There's some good shots.
Yeah.
Rob Reiner.
There's
the
some
director,
good shots.
Mm-hmm.
Who has done good movies, I think.
I was distracted by the soft rock. If you notice on the cliff, and they're walking up to the edge of it, they kind of fall into the rocks with their feet, like it's soft padding. And when he does
Didn't
the little,
see that, thanks.
the dismount off of the rope, you see the mat that they have under. They hardly cover it with gray, and then it's gone the next scene.
I mean, even the bar, like where would there be rock formation with a natural forming bar?
And you see the flying rigs that they are attached to during some of the fighting. I don't know if you saw that, but...
No, I didn't.
Yes.
How did I miss that? That's what I want to know.
It's because I was ready to hate on it, and I was noticing.
It really did have like a B movie kind of quality to it.
But in that respect, I can enjoy it. But because people praise it as like a huge,
like
wonderful
Tristan said, I consider it mostly just a classic.
Then I'm very skeptical of it.
Yeah.
It's like, call it what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
The eels were creepy.
I don't know. It's just another like long list of like vaguely defined. It
Thought
was
the
like
eel was
felt
stupid.
like you were watching someone's D&D campaign.
That's what I mean
That's
about the
almost
people
exactly
without
what it
deodorant writing the movie.
Yeah.
You could easily replace this, like, the entire grandpa boy subplot with people playing D&D, and nothing would change.
Yeah.
No. No.
I think I'll do that sometime.
Yeah,
we should
make that movie of like a fake D&D campaign where you just keep cutting. I mean, people have done that.
Just
That was
keep
a
cutting to
community
Princess
episode.
Bride.
Oh, but keep cutting to the Princess Bride, where
Yeah.
we form separate narration scenes
Yeah,
that
so
are all D&D.
I know
But
you're
yeah, that
not-
would be funny. Actually,
You're not a fan of narration sometimes, but it does
No,
work
it
here.
was. This is very good narration. Like
That's
this
what I
kind of
had here.
framing
Yeah.
Story.
Grandpa scenes are beautiful.
They are.
Yeah, I do.
I
do
wanted just one or
appreciate
two more of them.
the framing of it, and obviously like that leads to like that kind of like mild. You get a chance where the Greek chorus, like the audience can be heard. I think that it's appreciative. You can talk about the genre. You can talk about fantasy. You can talk about children and how children react to stories and like get that feel, get like that out of this movie. I think that's really cool. But you're right. It would be funny to just use Princess Bride, but with separate like cut different types of narration there. Where it's like a weird group of people playing D&D.
Yep.
I like that idea,
it
and
was-
I will help you with that project.
Fantastic.
Be on the lookout for it in like 10 years or so when I actually get to writing it.
Yeah, we got to get the rights to Princess Bride too. So if
I'm
we wanna...
okay with the narration. It just kind
No,
of...
it's parody. We can use
What?
it.
Oh,
Parody
true.
law.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, parody love.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cutscenes sometimes took me out of the whole movie too. Not
I
that
was
I was
fine with it.
increasingly invested in it. Yeah, it worked. I just...
I came up. I guess this is a good time to talk about my fan theory.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fan theory.
He's a fan. It's official.
Uh-oh. The kid... Okay. The kid is clearly faking being sick so he can stay home from school and play video games. The mom knows this and conspires with Grandpa to bore the kid with a story to punish him. The plan backfires, and this movie is actually a tragedy that teaches kids it's okay to lie to their mothers and not care about books and education.
That is an interesting... I mean, there's holes in that. I do think he probably is lying. I don't think the grandpa... Maybe the mom calls
He's
it.
not
The
sick.
grandpa obviously
Yeah.
enjoys the story,
But the
though.
grandpa obviously cares about the story. He didn't pick it to
'Cause
bore
he-
him. He thinks the kid's gonna like it. And he even continuously threatens to walk out of
The
the
grandpa was
Further-
not in it.
no.
Full on the
Further
way.
fan
though.
theory. He's making up the story as he goes because he never turns the fucking pages. He's always in the middle of the book when we cut
until
back
he's
to
like
the
at the
scenes.
beginning, and then he keeps being in the same place, and then he's at the end. And that's, yeah.
There's also the... By that logic, I could follow along with that because it's like, oh yeah, you know what? Wesley's dead. No, I want to continue listening to the story. Oh shit, well, there's a magic guy that can bring him back to life, I guess.
Maybe the grandpa is Wesley. I actually had that thought at the end.
Grandpa is Wesley.
Well,
he's a couple thousand years old
Well,
now.
Apparently he can be brought back to life, so...
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
He's
You're
immortal.
right.
He lives with Buttercup and Billy Crystal now. It's just him, Buttercup, and Billy Crystal, and Billy Crystal's wife. And they just live immortally together. Because they do in this often reference real places.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so their countries are fake countries. But they reference Australia, Spain, Italy. Yeah, because this is from
Yeah,
Florence.
yeah.
So it seems that it's supposed to be in the real world.
Right.
We have our own theories.
So we're all fans
So
now.
it's a prequel to their family.
No, we're not.
But no, that kid, I have faked being sick enough to know that kid's faking.
Oh, for sure.
And
Respect.
that's...
You faked being sick, Tristan?
Of course I faked being
Wait,
sick.
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because I don't think you would ever... You, like, are the type of person who would be psyched to go to school.
No, I'm not. I hate school. I love learning.
There's a rant about that coming out on the channel.
What you just...
I don't
You
know.
just
yeah.
We're tired.
I did.
No, I don't like
That-
school. I don't like the education system, but I love learning.
Sure, I mean,
learning is my
I
hobby.
get that, but...
But no, like, he's just playing video games. He's not, doesn't have, like, wrinkles in his eye, doesn't look pale. He can shout out and say, "No, Grandpa! Finish the story right!"
Yeah. No,
He's faking.
obviously not sick.
Yeah.
Cool.
Whether the mom knew or not, I don't know. He even says, "Grandpa, come back and read me that story again tomorrow." Why was the grandpa like, well, what if you can go to school tomorrow?
Uh-oh.
It's weird the grandpa didn't say that. He just said, "as you wish," which also is weird that throughout the movie it had a sexual connotation to it. And suddenly the grandpa says it to the kid.
No,
It's
it means
"Ooh,
I love
easy,"
you.
I guess.
Maybe the grandpa.
But nobody
the
had
kid-
ever said it in a
You know what? It's a story about the kid finally accepting his grandfather as someone that he loves, because at the beginning he was not excited to see his grandfather.
You're right.
And then he leaves, and his grandpa says, "As you wish, I love you," and the kid doesn't say anything. And now he loves his grandpa, so it's a heartwarming story.
Yeah, I was too cynical for that. But no, you're right. That is a touching thought. I like that better than what I was like. Ugh. But because I'm a cynical person.
Embarrassingly, before I saw this movie, I always thought, like, just from seeing, like, different clips and pictures throughout Princess Bride, I always thought Inigo Montoya and the guy in the mask were the same character.
That's funny. Oh.
They are two sexy, honorable men, I will say.
I will say, so,
Oh, yeah.
like, speaking of As You Wish, you guys know, like, the Drake meme?
Yes.
So, like,
No.
I'm gonna do one where, like, you know, the Drake that he's saying no to is As You Wish, and then the Drake saying yes to it is I Can Fix That. Because in terms of lines that are, like, a lover says, that, like, over and over and over again, I Can Fix That is the better one. So anyway, I'm gonna put that meme together, I guess.
He's referencing holes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I just watched Holes recently, too. That deserves to be in my top 20.
That's a good
Probably,
movie.
although I don't know what I would take
And you
out.
know, Holes was also, the screenplay was also written by the author of the book.
Really?
Yeah, so we...
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
okay,
I thought
so
you meant
really-
Princess Bride. I was like, whoa! Okay, on the book
yeah,
of
I thought you were
Holes.
saying that Princess Bride and Holes were written by the same person.
No,
Ooh,
I'm saying
that was about to
that
blow
both
my
movies,
mind. Okay.
both movies had their
Whereas
original
their
authors.
screenplay and their films were yeah, okay. Alright.
So it's slightly funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
and both movies have characters from Psych in them.
Oh, man.
Holes
No.
has Gus,
Yeah,
and
I know
then
that.
Princess Bride has Despero.
Which one's
Okay.
Despero?
How can you not remember
It's a
Despero?
long time since I've seen Psych.
Despero's a very memorable character. He's the art thief that's just...
Yeah, it's Carrie Elwes or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah. See, you just had to say that.
Wiz.
You had to say the art thief.
Whatever.
Like, I'm gonna remember the name.
I
Desperate.
want-
He was
I
in like
want-
3 episodes.
I want to
He
talk
was in,
about
like,
Mandy
Five.
Patinkin.
5.
Well, 3 that I saw.
Inigo.
Five.
Inigo?
Indigo?
Indigo? Is it
Inigo
Inigo?
Montoya is a fun
Inigo.
name to say.
Inigo. Okay, Inigo for me. This is kind of how
Just
I
say
see his
Inigo
character.
Montoya.
Inigo Montoya. For me, I was at a bar the other night, and I sat next to this man named Alex, and he was like, this
Not me.
40-year-old Mexican man. No, it's not you.
Yeah.
And I sat at the bar with him for like 2.5 hours, and he told me these wonderful stories and gave me worldly insight, bought me shots of tequila, and then he was gone. And that's kind of how I see
Yeah.
Inigo Montoya.
Oh, so
He
he's
just-
actually Inigo.
He's, yeah.
His name was
No,
Inigo.
No, it wasn't Inigo.
Okay.
It was Alex.
But that's how I see
Hey,
his
right, you
character.
just
Is
said
that mysterious man with worldly wisdom and charm. He's very mysterious.
Yeah.
And
Hearing you say Inigo instead of Inigo Montoya, it sounds weird just calling him his first name.
I'm sorry.
That's... I'm not saying I forgive you. It's not really a forgivable
That's
thing.
all I have. I don't know why. Yeah, he surprises you with worldly wisdom, buys the tequila shots, disappears, and you're a better person for it. I'm a better person for Inigo Montoya. That's for sure. That's my takeaway from this movie.
What?
I thought it was weird that the guy, the count or whatever that he wanted revenge on, remember the six-fingered hand man, remembered who he was. I thought it was gonna be a thing where he's like, you know, when Inigo Montoya, he spent his whole life planning revenge, and he's gonna do the kind of Thanos, I don't even know who you are line, but he was like, oh no, I remember you. Yeah, I remember killing your dad. Or what is the other thing too is like the other famous quote from some other famous movie where they're like, you know, you killed my father, and he's like, I've killed a lot of fathers or something like that.
That was a Darth Vader line.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Darth
What?
Vader, yeah.
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 What?
It's in the extended universe.
Oh.
Oh, is that right? No, it's from an extended universe?
Yeah, a comic book or something.
Okay.
I was gonna say
I've
that.
killed
I mean,
many
I know the
fathers. You'll have to be
traditional
more
line.
specific, but I
Yeah.
doubt it's the only one that's ever like.
Yeah, but you're right. That almost definitely is what
But
I'm
I
thinking
see,
of.
remembered him. I like that he gave him the same little slashes.
Yeah.
That
You know, overall
Yeah.
it was a.
kid.
Yeah, I wish he hadn't gotten stabbed.
That was weird. I really thought he was gonna die.
I would have. I was hoping to see after the exciting battle we had between Wesley and Inigo Montoya. I was expecting them to really step up their game for the
Yeah.
actual
But
final
you're right.
fight.
But that would have been weird. It would have been weird for, like, we're supposed to assume that the difficult part was finding this guy. That he's not a particularly talented sword fighter. He's just a powerful man, and then in some ways it's more interesting that Inigo Montoya devoted his whole life to learning to sword fight when he really only needed to be like minorly good
Yeah.
to beat that guy.
I really did enjoy that fencing scene though. Because I've tried fencing before and that was hard.
Yeah. Well, like when you do fencing, the swords are even lighter but not sharp. So presumably these are heavier. You got to do a little different stuff.
Yeah. So I don't think there could have been any better fight because there wasn't going to be another fight between Inigo and.
No, watching fencing,
Wesley.
like real fencing, is very boring.
Yeah.
Much like watching UFC fighting is very boring to me.
It's
and I'm
the
like,
banter that made it really interesting.
I'd rather them be and this was
very respectful banter while they're trying to kill each other.
And
but
That
like
was my
like-
dentist.
oh,
everything okay?
how's the teeth?
Fine, we'll find out on Monday. Just a
Okay.
reminder for my appointment.
Tune in to our
Sorry.
next video to find out if Tristan's teeth are okay.
I was just saying, I think that there could not have been a better fight scene because the two most skilled swordsmen were the two
Yeah,
fighters.
exactly. It
You're-
wouldn't have
you're
made
right.
sense in universe for the other guy to be better.
Yeah.
You're right, I guess. I don't know.
Not that
understand.
not that anything in this movie made sense.
I
So
still
yeah,
think
fuck
it
it.
was-
Make a better sword fight, guys.
Although-
And that's something cool. It doesn't have to make logistical sense.
Fuck
Make
it.
cool sword
Speaking
fights.
of expectations, I'd say my whole more positive outlook than you guys is due to the fact that I went in with such low expectations.
I did too, though.
But
That's right, I guess.
When I first saw it, I came in with high expectations. I was really excited to see it because I had heard only good things, and then I watched it and was like, that was just okay. Because that was high school,
Yeah,
and then so I had low expectations watching it a second time. I was like, well, I didn't like it in high school. I don't think I'm gonna like it much more this time, and I was correct. It was still pretty boring.
I've
Thought you
Like
thought
I
that was
said-
going somewhere else, didn't you guys?
Yeah.
I had an
twist, I
illogical
still- yeah.
aversion to this movie, and because I just had a gut feeling that I wasn't gonna like it based on what I've heard from other people and the people that have liked the movie and how I know what their taste is like, and I was correct.
Historically, it's an important movie, but it is not a good movie.
Well, you heard it here, guys. Princess Bride is not a good movie, according to Alex.
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
any hate that you have in the comments, directed at him.
Bring it on.
Not at...
It's
Yeah.
I mean, it was bound to happen anyway. That eventually people are gonna dislike how.
This is one of the
negative I
few
am.
times you will likely see me not
Yeah.
enjoy a movie very much, which is weird because I love fantasy and quest-like movies, but this, I hated it.
Except for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, but even then,
Yeah.
No, 20%.
But looking back, it's still not great.
because the scenes between Andre the Giant, I don't know
Yeah.
his name in the movie.
Felix?
I don't
Fiend?
know.
It's
Oh,
an F name.
It's,
An F name.
Finks? Finks?
It is... No, I guess I don't have it.
Just kidding.
Anyway,
I
Andre the
liked
Giant.
the scenes right when it was the three of them kind of scouting out the castle.
Yeah.
From
yeah.
that moment up until they were jumping out of the
Until
window.
nice tits.
No, that
Yeah, that was
even that,
funny.
even
Yeah,
that, because
yeah,
I
yeah.
loved that speech about him cutting off his arms and his ankles.
Yeah,
and his
yeah.
feet. Between that point in the movie and them jumping out of the window onto the white horses was the good part of the movie to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I would
It's
agree
a
with that.
shame that it had to take so long to get you there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but again, I would not have enjoyed it had I not known those characters a little bit. So I don't know. Was it worth the payoff? No, not really. But
Do you think anyone in history has ever audibly gasped when it's revealed that Wesley was the thief the whole time?
I wonder maybe in the book, when
I
people,
hope so.
when people read the book, they didn't think it was Wesley, but it was just impossible to translate to film. But yeah, I don't think anybody didn't know that was Wesley.
No, it was so obvious from
Because
the
why
get-go. I
even
didn't
tell
even
the
really...
Wesley portion of the story if you're not going to bring him
Exactly.
back?
And I mean, I could tell
make
that it
you
was
think
him
that this-
behind the mask.
To make you think that the woman was gonna have some development.
This movie was also very pro-piracy.
Which she did not. I'm very pro-piracy.
Just as a concept.
I don't know.
Yar
I
har
don't
fiddle de
I'm
dee.
not pro-piracy in terms of, I don't think people should steal.
Raped and pillaged.
Yeah.
Gold.
Or even
I
just
kinda-
steal
yeah.
from, a current pirate situation. It doesn't even have any pillaging. It's just, we're going to jump on board your vessel. But it was
Yeah.
Wesley was I became a better man for my time as a pirate. And then he was when Indigo went to I was I don't know what I'm going to do. He's you should
the
be a
pirate.
pirate. And it's well, maybe don't tell people to be pirates.
I don't know. In that kind of world, universe, I'd probably want to be a pirate. Seems like an adventurous life.
You know
without
what else is
a lot
a
of
pirate,
rules.
though? Count 'em on a
And I'm
Gusto.
sure the women are much more interesting.
I liked the pirate.
But
I like the pirate
I wanted
story.
to
There
bring that
may
up.
be no other women. It may be why everyone loves Buttercup so much, because you may either have old women already
said
married
that.
to Billy Crystal, or I'm riffing off of you.
You're either
Oh,
young,
are-
beautiful, and brainless, or you're old and ugly and crazy.
Like angry, yeah.
You're either Buttercup or you're not Buttercup.
Yeah. And that's why everyone's so in love with
Brains
Buttercup.
or beauty, you can have one in a woman in this universe.
I wouldn't even say that the other women characters were brainy. They were just
No,
angrier.
Not
they were just loud.
Yeah.
Buttercup had
They probably
her
would have hit the
moments.
No,
rat.
she didn't. She did not have her moments.
Okay, you're right, because the one time I was about to go to, I was going to say, she distracted them and jumped off the boat, and then she ended up right back in the boat.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
It is a nice test, though, that it's like to find out if a girl really likes you, is you deliver lines that Wesley says to Buttercup, such as his nice tits speech, and if she's like, oh, thank you, then you know she really likes you, because, you know, why else would you take that as like your big romantic line?
Yeah, I do want to agree with Tristan on something. The pirate story was pretty dope.
Yeah, I like how they said, the long story short, the real Robert the Pirate had been living like a king for years and had just been
And they
passing
just
on
keep
his
passing
legend to another person
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then they
take
use
on.
it in their favor when they pretend to be a pirate to get all the guards to run away because he's such a feared person. Although what they did never address with that story is that because they also said that pirate never left a person alive. He killed everybody. So what they don't address necessarily
How many people did Wesley
is
kill?
that Wesley had to have murdered while he spent his time as the pirate hundreds of people that he was pirating. Because I thought at some point when he tells a story about that legend and that they're just passing on this legacy, that part of the reason they're passing on this legacy is because future Robert the Pirates would have never had to kill anybody.
But I think
in order to keep the thing going, they really are presumably still killing hundreds of people.
I feel like he was respectful about it, though. I mean, the fight between Inigo and him, Inigo Montoya, sorry.
Yeah, he does not kill him.
He doesn't kill him, and even then they're just like, oh,
but like the legend,
I respect you as a person. It's a shame I have to kill you.
Yeah.
And then the classic.
Yeah.
How many times does someone get bumped on the head and pass out?
It does
in this
remind
movie?
me of
What's
like
the count?
Archer, where they talk about how terrible it is to be knocked unconscious, and like the number of times everyone gets knocked unconscious and they just wake up later fine. It's like, no, if you're out for like, I don't know, any significant portion of time, it's really damaging to your brain being unconscious for even like 10 minutes. It's really bad for you, like really, really bad.
Is it?
Yeah.
Usually means you got some problems going on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'll wake up and at least be like very sick, and you may never fully recover, have like little like brain lapses. Being unconscious for any amount of time is pretty bad for you.
True.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What did you say? You wish that you could knock someone out every...
I think I wrote it down.
Just with like a...
I remember exactly what you said, but I want you to deliver it. It was great.
Let's see. Oh man, I hate this. I hate this movie.
You just wrote you hate this movie.
I wish I could just knock someone out with a bump of the head anytime they called out a flaw of mine. Like, what did he say to him? I don't remember.
You have 6 fingers on your hand, I think.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you have 6 fingers on your hand. Yes. Boom. It's nice. I don't know. That's it. It wasn't that interesting. But I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
Just,
Well, and to knock someone out without drawing blood also seems nearly impossible.
suspend
Well,
your
they've done it
disbelief.
multiple times in this
I
movie.
really need to get through these notes, man. All right, let's see. Climbing scene.
But if
Great
some of them,
line.
but if them are just like, I hate this movie, we don't need that note.
A great line to me, like I said, very quotable. I have a wedding to plan, a honeymoon, my wife to murder. I'm a busy guy.
I love that.
Yeah, like that one.
Kind of solidified my like. Even Wesley, in my opinion, cannot pull off the pencil mustache.
No.
It's not a look.
No, sometimes they get real close up in his face and I'd really notice the mustache and be like, cool, you know.
This fight between Wesley and... Oh, Fezzik. That's his name.
Fezzik, yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and I kind of saw it as like a metaphor for me trying to tackle the problems in my life. It's like running at this giant thing with all my force, and it's just doesn't move.
There you go, we gotta meme it. Have
We
just
gotta
like
meme
like
it.
label like Wesley is me and then Fezzik like my problems.
Yep.
Showed his intelligence, for sure. But yeah, Buttercup never gave me a... Like... I don't know.
No.
Buttercup
And a
never
lot-
gave me a reason to, like, feel
In a lot of ways, no
why
one-
Wesley would chase
Yeah,
after this
and
girl.
that's the saddest thing about this movie is is the motive behind the story is to, reunite with your one true love and
Grandpa
save
and
her
child.
from the situation. But I never felt very passionate about where the story was going.
Yeah, they just told you that
within
it's
that,
true love.
I didn't really care for the journey that they were on.
Yeah.
And that's really, truly at the core where it falls flat.
Like,
for
what
me.
you have to be is like, oh, she must be in love. It must be true love because she's not being a gold digger and marrying the king.
Yeah.
It's like, is that the only qualification? Is like,
I guess, but still, farm boy do this,
She's-
farm boy do that.
Yeah.
That's how the
She
relationship
was so...
started.
Okay, yeah,
I
I
can
wrote
fix
that
that.
down in the beginning. What a shallow fucking relationship. You bossed this boy around, and I mean, maybe he fell in love with you because you're beautiful, or why
That's
was he
why.
in love with her? That's it. It's so shallow. I don't know.
yeah.
It didn't.
I mean,
That's what I
everybody
was-
was shallow. Like, all the characters were super shallow characters, but at least all the male characters did cool stuff. They
I
were,
don't know.
like, shallow characters and cool.
They were very honorable. Like I
They
was
were
saying,
honorable
the fight
people.
between Inigo Montoya
Yeah.
and Wesley, I want to be able to fight with the people that I care about like that in a very respectful, witty way, and they come out of it at the end, respecting
Well,
each
you
other
have
even
seen
more.
Tristan argue about movies. Tristan and I.
Yeah.
And
That is one of my
we
notes.
come
I hope
out
to be able to
respecting
fight.
each other, even after shitting on each other's
Yeah.
favorite movies.
That's fine. I can't wait until we
So
watch Hook.
hopefully we can be the Indigo Montoya, and you in the comments who like Princess Bride can be the Wesley, and we will have a respectful
That's a good way to phrase it.
duel about Princess Bride and not resort to normal YouTube
I am the
comments.
screaming woman.
No, we are all as a collective Indigo Montoya.
Yeah.
We as a
Yay.
team, and the YouTube commenters
I wish
as a
to be
collective
half as
are
honorable
Wesley.
as Indigo Montoya in my life.
You can be.
I wish to be.
You are.
Oh.
We are all.
What was his name in Dead Like Me? Rube?
Yes,
It was
with
Rube.
Rube.
We need to watch that.
We should watch Dead Like Me. That is a classic,
Such a
classic
good
show.
fucking show.
Yeah,
God, I love it. Yes, sir.
Found another line that I like.
yeah,
As he's looking at Wesley's dead body. I've seen worse.
yeah.
There are a lot of
I've seen
funny
worse.
moments. As
Yeah.
much as you hate this movie, you did laugh a lot at it.
I know.
Oh, I knew that was gonna. I
Well-
thought because you laugh at a lot of.
You know
As
the
somebody
amount
who
that I
writes and writes somewhat lowbrow jokes at times, and the easy joke, and then I get a laugh at Emma, and I thought, wow, she might really like this movie.
That's
'cause there's a lot
exactly
of-
what I was
Oh,
thinking.
Yeah. But I mean, I agree with you obviously, and you're allowed to laugh at a thing and then go, it's still shitty.
I did laugh.
I laughed a couple times watching Tag the other night.
Well, you know how
That was
much I
still a terrible
laugh, though.
movie.
I laugh significantly less than I normally do during this movie.
Yeah, that's true. Than any
That's
movie.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'll
Yeah.
still laugh at it, even if it's bad, because I
Yeah.
can laugh at how bad it is, but the true joy was not there. What
I
is
have
that Asian woman who has...
Oh yeah, this one sparks joy.
this
This
does not spark joy for me.
Yeah.
Um,
If I were applying her method to movies, I would
This
have to
does
get
not
rid of that.
spark
This
joy.
movie. This did not spark joy. That should be our new. I was like thinking. Somebody asked me like, "Oh, now you guys are doing these movie reviews. Do you have like a?" It was my mom, and she was like, "Do you guys have like a thumbs up system or a star system or like what is your
We've
system
been-
for liking movies?" And we've been all over the map
Been
in
doing
terms of like the way
grades.
grades we did for a while. I think we've done numbers. I think so. Maybe I'm just gonna go off that. A movie either does or does not spark joy.
I don't want to steal
that's
that
way
from
more
her,
my
though.
system than yours, though.
I don't want to steal from her. We should
Yeah,
get
you're right.
rubles.
We should.
Any Rick and Morty fans out?
Nope.
Rubles.
Rubles.
I do like Rick and Morty, but it has a deep.
Remember when
Deep
they're
cut.
watching all the different TV shows?
They're like interdimensional
And
cable.
it's the guy who robs people and then he brings it back to his little shop and he's like, "Oh, we got a empty red plastic cups that give 15 rubles." And there's like no actual system. He
Yeah,
has something
yeah,
of like way
yeah.
more actual value and he's like,
Yeah.
3 rubles.
Well, that's how they crash the whole system when Rick makes $1 equals 0 of itself. I love that.
I love that show.
That is a good show.
What's going on, bro?
Nothing.
No,
I actually think we've gotten through most of my notes.
Yeah.
Ah.
I feel like I've aired most of my grievances. I mean, people who like this movie, you know, you probably should. Anyone really should probably see it, and then they'll know everything about it. Because once you watch it, you're like, I know exactly what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a movie that needs a lot of explanation, or I even think needs like a ton of like breaking down. It's like its bad parts are really obvious and its good parts are really obvious, and it has more bad parts than good. But if you really like those good parts that much, because of like the highs that are there that are highs, maybe that just carries it. And especially maybe if I'd seen it when I was a kid, you know,
it would hold. I'm sure I would have
They tried
enjoyed
to
this
show
as
it to me as a kid, and I thought it was boring.
I think that's what
maybe not.
Me too.
I don't know. I didn't like Matilda as a kid, which is apparently a movie that a lot of my kids like.
What?
I know. I didn't like it either as
Have
a
you
kid.
seen it as an adult?
No.
Oh
I
my
have no
god,
interest
it's on
because I
my
hated it
top
so much.
25.
We'll watch it.
Yeah.
Don't
You know,
watch
like,
that fucking
in
movie.
terms of, like, children's fantasy that I watched over and over and over again as a kid just because it was, like, that, and now probably have more nostalgia than bad thoughts about it will be Hook, which we will obviously watch. It's a movie that I watched many, many times, but only as a kid. I've not watched since, but have really only pleasant memories of, because we would just... It was like one of those VHS tapes you pop in
I'm
and
ready
watch.
for you to rip it apart.
But I don't know if I will, because I have... Even if it is a objectively bad movie...
Which I'm so excited.
Yeah. If I have a child and he's a boy, I'll probably show him this movie. I will not show my daughter. Because this movie will have no value to her until she's older and she understands that she is of value as a woman.
But you don't want to...
Like,
as an adult,
you don't
watch this movie, write an essay on what's wrong with this.
Yeah, you don't want to give a daughter princess complex. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
I had one more note.
I will not... my kids are going to watch, Young Grapes will watch only, like, artsy indie films.
Young Luke will watch Empire.
Yeah, no. I mean, we'll watch
or my
Star
daughter.
Wars.
My daughter will watch, or my son will
And
watch Star Wars.
We'll watch, like, indie dramas. And I'll be like, I'm so bored of movies. And I'll be like, then go outside. Or watch Manchester by the Sea. Those will be your options, son. You can go outside and you can watch Manchester with your dad. Grapes is gonna have a tough life. Not just because his name is Grapes, but because also he will be my son.
How much Donnie Darko, 6-year-old child.
Yeah.
This
what
is
are we
Frank
watching?
the Bunny. He's your friend.
We're gonna watch Blue Velvet.
We are.
It's like, I want to watch
We are
Princess
gonna watch
Bride.
Blue Velvet.
And I'm like, Blue Velvet or ride your bike somewhere.
We're gonna watch Hook. So far, I am the best parent.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Last note that I had actually comes from How I Met Your Mother. It's a Marshall quote.
Oh.
Because I think he phrases this friggin' perfectly.
Okay, I'm excited.
And I'm just gonna have to read it, so it's
Sure,
like word for
that's
word.
fine.
At the end, Andre the Giant hooks him up with these horses, and then Inigo Montoya is like, physique. It's physique.
Yeah.
You did something right. And it's like, bro, Andre's been doing stuff right the whole movie. Knocking out serpents, busting down castle doors, basically carrying your revenge and sangria-soaked ass. So instead of being a patronizing jerk, how about a simple, hey, thanks for the horses, bro?
That is true.
You're sangria-soaked ass.
And revenge. Revenge and sangria-soaked ass.
That's a fair criticism. I didn't even really know that line. Like, I guess I didn't really catch because it seems so ridiculous to say that. You're right. He has
These tears.
And then he's like,
You gotta cheer up once every review.
and then Inigo Montoya is what? Then presumably going to become the most murderous pirate in existence. He's like, fuck you, Andre the Giant, off to kill a bunch of people.
This is such a fucked up movie. I'm actually starting to like it.
I'm glad that last thing did it for you.
I really wish now that we're on that scene, and Buttercup has this fucking elegant, wonderful shot of her flying slow motion through the air. I just wish we would have had a shot like that of Wesley.
But they're men. They're not supposed to have shots like that.
I know.
But I wish.
Oh, that was so stupid.
Oh, if we make a parody, we're doing that.
Okay.
That was so
Where
stupid.
Buttercup catches them.
She's on the ground.
No, in one arm each.
But she's still being held by Andre the Giant. And then she catches one and then the other.
I'm radiating a lot of heat right now and crying. I'm just...
You've been saying all this stuff about female empowerment and got your Twilight cup right over here.
There's some strong female characters in that.
Rosalie does get some badass fucking revenge.
Bella is not one of them, but there are some
and
strong
Bella
female
tells
characters.
Edward to fuck off, that she's gonna become a vampire whether he wants her to or not, because it's
That's good. You weren't heading towards a very good point.
That might be on the cut.
Actually, we need to watch Twilight.
Yeah,
Well,
okay. Look, we're already watching Scream 3 and 4.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be really
Remember when we picked a movie from my list and we all just talked about how much we liked it the whole time?
I know. And
Well,
that
yeah.
provided a very...
When are we getting back to the list? Because we
Soon.
haven't
Yeah.
the past two movies.
We should
I
do
know,
we should
soon.
we should do one from a list next.
From your list?
Not any list.
It should be yours.
I think it's on my
Yeah.
list
It's on
now.
yours, yeah.
No. Oh yeah, because Scream was the first one we watched. Yeah, I think
Through
it
the
is.
randomizer
It's-
it goes.
All right. There's two people I want present for the Hook review, so it's not going to be that
Yeah.
one.
But-
I have one person I want present for one of my movies for
Right.
Clockwork. Devin will be with us
Oh,
for
cool.
Clockwork Orange.
Devin was just in our movie that we shot yesterday called Fancy Feast. He was
It's
very,
my
very
roommate.
good. Yeah.
He wasn't at all how we envisioned the character, but damn it if it didn't make that character work.
Yeah, he did
I
a good
don't.
job.
Did any of your characters come out the way you envisioned them?
Probably Josh's.
Josh is a little bit, and Victoria.
Yeah.
She I think nailed the exact kind of voice that I was thinking.
Okay.
Um,
Because I know that at least me and Devin were.
We're different, but that's not. I don't expect it to be exactly. If I wanted that, then I would say,
Yeah.
Tristan, I'm directing this one. Which
Ugh.
I don't want to do
Hiccups
because I
now.
wanted to be asleep. So I cut the middle and was awake and miserable.
He's staring at me.
That's
Anyway.
awful.
Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Let's do our final reviews.
Ah.
You know what? I'll go first.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to give this movie a B-. I'll give it a B-.
Wow.
I will give it.
Maybe a B, but let's go a B- for you guys.
I will give it 3/4 of a thumb up.
Shit.
6 Rugels.
And there it is, Princess Bride.
I will give it. God. Let's see.
Glasses are coming
Sorry,
off.
I was so focused on that joke that I didn't even respond to Tristan saying B-, which I think is an insane grade. Yeah.
Okay, if we're gonna go by the letters, like actually, Jesus, I give it a D+.
C- for historical value. C- equals 3/4 of a thumb up in my world, I would say.
Okay.
C- for historical value.
D+ is right
so
there.
it's passing. Yeah, I would say I'm giving it passing. You were still giving it a failing grade, but still basically the same.
B- for me.
Insane. Absolutely insane. Anyway.
Well,
Looking forward to the hate.
yeah, sounds delicious.
Yummy. We're tired.
Yep, we are.
That's like the 9th time I've said that. Please tell me we've been recording.
Yeah, we've been recording.
Okay.
I'm seeing if like this
God.
felt shorter than usual, but no, it's still like an hour long. so-
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that feels right.
These things fly by.
Yeah, I didn't expect this one to be too long because
I didn't either.
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you, Marshall Erickson, for giving us that final little
That
was
home
thing,
stretch.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brought tears to my eyes. Whoever
Yep.
actually wrote that. Thank you.
Craig and Carter Bays, or Craig Thomas and Carter Bays, How I Met Your Mother.
Beautifully put.
Yeah.
Dope.
I know people have problems with season 9, but there's some good moments in there.
All right.
All right.
Well, I think that's that. Cool.
See you next time.
We will see you next week.
By the way, Jake was here this time.
Shout out
Was I
Jake.
blocking him?
No, I was holding him over here.
Oh, cute.
All right, see you next week.
Peace.
Or we'll see you Friday because of a live stream.
Yeah.
Cool.
Depending on when this comes out.
Rock and roll.
We're planning on doing live streams every Friday. Okay, bye guys.
10 rubles.